a family member
Right.
that has assaulted you
Right.
in that manner, sexually abused you. How do you use this? That's why I'm going. It's easy for me. It's a lot deeper. The hurt is a lot deeper when it's simple. It's somebody don't talk to me, or somebody said something, lied on me.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to a family member violating your body,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened when you were probably a child,
Right.
and you are taking this into adulthood,
Yes.
how do you apply this when the test is going to say, yes, it did occur, and I'm not applying any distorted feelings towards it? So and yes, you should get beyond that anger and everything and forget. And at this point, you're going, well, how do I get to a place, apply this particular ABCD to where I'm able to look at this individual and say, I forgive you, because you are going through all of this steps, and I'm trying to see how in every phase that we apply this particular method.
Right.
Because there are things that there are different degree where your situations where it's easier. Do you know what I mean? It's easier for me to work through the steps than it is when these things actually did happen, physical violation to my body, and I have to look you in the face and work through this stuff.
Right.
Right? So I'm just saying, are there situations where that it may not be applied to?
Well, so the ABCD method is not to address the abuse. The ABCD method is to address the feelings that goes along with what comes along with the abuse, right? So I'm in the moment now where I've been abused.
Yes.
100%, it's authenticated, this thing happened. However, there's some feelings that goes along with that. Feelings of
betrayal, hurt.
Right, and usually abusers, a person who's abused become abusers themselves. They're sometimes self-assassinating. Sometimes there are all different ways this thing shows up. So we're not at the stage where we can deal with the abuse itself. The only thing we can deal with at this stage is the feelings that goes along with them. We're trying to regulate your feelings so that we can get to the underlying issue, right? So that's why the ABCD method is to get you there, and that is not one of those ones where we're going to say, get over it.
Precisely, that's what I mean.
Because getting over it, remember, it took them all their lifetime. And I can show you all sorts of, and I'm sure y'all know this, there are lots of studies and articles that proves that, well, suggests that if abuse, whether physical, sexual, emotional, it doesn't matter, abuse in general, if it goes untreated, the likelihood of that person having a successful life is greatly diminished. Okay, so in the moment, I can't address the abuse. I can only address the symptoms. The symptom is how I'm feeling right now.
Okay, so I'm going to say that from the understanding is that what it's not the situation that you are dealing with. It is how you feel, your perspective on the situation. Is this the method to regulate that?
Right.
And get you in the proper mindset?
So that we can start the
So
treatment,
we can
address the abuse.
The actual situation.
Absolutely.
Because your perspective can be clouded based on certain things. And if we have the right mindset going into addressing this situation, the outcome will be more successful.
Absolutely.
That's the line.
Absolutely. So last week you weren't there, but I see your hand, sis. Last week you weren't here, but we were talking about Dr. Byrne, he has this experience pattern. One of the things he suggests is that, there's a conceptualization stage, right? The conceptualization stage, something happened, right? And that gives us a perception, right? If that child, when they were directly abused, we had put them in therapy so that they can address that issue instantly, then the pattern, we can actually do something about the pattern in the infancy stage, right? Where that, the conception, the perception, it leads to thought, it leads to action and reaction. In this context, that abuse give them the lens through which they view life and they view people, right? We can't totally address that in the moment, because when they come to us, work in the school system or in the church setting, it will come and it will manifest through behaviors, right? We don't know what the behavior means, but all we know is that extreme behaviors are being presented. So how do we address that? The only way we can do it is by what you just said. We're going to work through the behavior, work through the moods, we're going to try to control that, and now we will actually get into working with you to get there. And again, in scenarios that what you just pointed out, sometimes they go through their entire life. And what I can tell you though, because of how amazing God is, when I encounter individuals like those, one of the things that I always say to them is, yes, I understand where you're at, and God have this amazing way of using that as material for ministry, because I always tell them, you have something we call a third eye. I call it the third eye. They could walk into a room and with pinpoint accuracy, they could pick out a person who was abused just like themselves. And because they know what that feels like, they can walk them through the process of healing faster than anyone else can. It's only a person who have gone through an experience would have that kind of skill. God is so amazing with that. They go into areas, and a lot of these people that we're talking about here, you'll find them as social workers, you'll find them as therapists, you'll find them as psychiatrists, and they're able to, I'm telling you, amazing they're able to walk people through the healing process. Right? Go ahead, sis.
This is a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, over 20 years ago, I perceived that someone wronged me.
Right.
But up to today, I'm saying that unless that person apologizes to me, I don't want to have a day-to-day interaction with them. Can that help?
The method that we're walking through here?
Yeah.
So, I believe it can. I believe it can, because what we're talking about here, I wish I had the slides up I could walk you through so I could show you that there are times that we attach the story, right? We attach a story to the event. So again, if I were working with that person, whoever the person is that offended you 20 years ago, I would want to go through step by step what happened. Again, I wasn't there, so I need you to tell me what happened.
Are you working with me or are you working with the person who offended me?
Pardon?
Are you going to be working with me or the person who offended me? Well, who I perceived wrongly. Are you going to who are you working with? Me?
I will work with the person who was offended.
Okay.
The person who you perceived offended you, they would have been living their best life.
That's what I thought.
Absolutely, they're living their best life. And you're walking around with this thing, and
Yes.
yeah, you know what I mean?
You're saying that unless you apologize to me, I'm saying if you don't apologize, I don't want anything to do with you.
I work with the person to try to get them to let that go.
There they go.
Well, sorry, let me just say it another way, because I think we get the wrong idea when we say let the thing go. We're not going to let it go. We're going to work with them to change their perception of that thing that happened so that they can make meaning of it but from a scriptural standpoint.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Some things that happen,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to manage it.
Right.
Because only God has the capability of forgiving and forgetting. You forgive something,
Right.
somebody in your mind has wronged you,
Mm-hmm.
and you forgive the person. But it comes to your mind every so often.
Right.
You can't forgive, use the term and forget. Sometimes I just use the term, just sweep it under the rug. Because you'll remember it at some point. You can't forgive and forget. And Sister Jennifer just brought up the point. It's something that she would probably show forgiveness for that situation, but it's always will come back. You can't escape. So I think that this thing of you forgiving and it's like it never happened, it's artificial.
Well, I hear you, and I agree with you to a point. The meaning that you make to the thing when it initially happened versus when we go through the process that we're talking about, you're going through the lens of understanding. Because let's say I stepped on your toe 20 years ago. And at that time when I stepped on your toe, I just had a pair of shoes and I couldn't really figure out how to walk in this shoe, and I just happened to pass by you and I stepped on your toe. But you didn't know that. You say that, Dr. Brother Toney, well, I'm telling you, and we just draw conclusions that we're not. If we were to find out the real story behind why I stepped on the toe, I guarantee you forgiveness would not be hard. That's what this is. Because here's the thing, we're testing it against Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ has all, like the right to hold everything that we do, to hold it against us. Does he do that? No, he doesn't. So the point that I'm making is, the lens of understanding, if we can even make excuses for the person why they did what they did, without totally knowing, because 20 years is hard to go back and figure out the motive.